Hi, I'm James and welcome to another video. Today we're looking at the Sout Britain Travel Map by Andres K Kuura, who we've met before in that he did the Northeast US map. Now I've printed it out and I've spotted a little anomaly. North British Travel Map. The maps themselves are South Britain, so I'm really hoping that Andres, you're actually working on the North British maps, because I live one hex off the top of this map. Yeah. So be nice when we get the second half. Now, as per the material in the game, it's 10-kilometre hexes. Now, very nicely, there's 8 map versions. They all cover the same things, they're just how they're presented. So you have, as he's described it, the vanilla one with no texture. That's the one to use if you want to save on a bit of ink. There's a similar one with no names on. There's one which is textured, textured, and then a textured version with no names. And then there's a road atlas scheme, which is a new one, which I quite like. You could use that almost for handouts. So again, there are all 4 versions. They do come within the main book. I'm regarding those as little simple versions, because there are much better versions as separate files, and they will print out larger. I haven't printed them yet. I'm still using the basic ones, but they are quite nice. Also usefully in there's extra information. There's an index of the settlements, alphabetic with the population and which area it's in, because it covers the southern half of England, it covers Wales and a small piece of France. And it gives the population. Now, it is a little strange in that in the index of the places, it goes down to some very small places, particularly in Wales, where the population isn't big. And I'm looking at these, and these are, I'm assuming, the pre-war populations. Obviously some of these will be a lot lower. Picking a couple of examples, Pwllheli, that's got a population of 4,000 in Wales, but it goes all the way down to Crossgates with 500 population. Now, to me, that's probably something that's not worth having on the map. Otherwise, you're going to have every single village in Britain on there. So there are some oddities in that sense, but I like the fact it's actually in there. You've then got a second list where it actually lists them by population size, which is quite good. Can be a bit not misleading, but for example, it gives a population to London of 7 million, Birmingham of 1,200,000, but Birmingham also picks up other areas around the outsides, so you could argue it was higher. It's not a drama, let's be honest, but it's a good starting point for referees to go, right, that was the population, what's the population now? So we have all of that. So I thought the indexes to the places were good. They help you locate them on the map fairly quickly, which is good. There's a settlement name generator. Well, in fact, there's 2 parts to that. You have a 10 by 10 grid with names. The only downside of that is some of these are actually quite big places. Some of them, particularly some of them are in the north as well, which you don't actually have on the map. But there are a lot of place names I recognise in there, so that's quite good. You've also got a name generation table, which basically makes the name up in components. So you roll a D10 and a D6 to get the start, and then a D12 to get the suffix. So actually you could roll all 3 of those dice together and straight away get the information. So I like that touch. The map itself is good, it's clear. It does emphasise the sheer amount of urbanisation there is, and I think American players will probably be quite shocked at how much there is. Somebody once said to me, Europe is a continent defined by history, and America is a continent defined by geography. It's a nice little thought. You don't need to do a lot of travelling in Britain. It is a preferred setting for my campaigns. I played an awful lot of games there. I'm desperately looking to see what's going to happen to Britain in the 4th edition. There are a few subtle changes. I'm probably going to be writing a few bits and pieces myself, and when the 2nd edition of the Cold War Goes Hot fanzine comes out, it will have some more details probably in there. So that's what you've got there. I did spot one minor anomaly, which is RAF St Athan is missing. Now, that's possibly because when it's being compiled, it's no longer an RAF base. That's something to consider. It's also a nice touch that they've actually he's included all the US air bases. I might have liked a little index to them because it just says it's an air base. It would just be nice to know, for example, which is Lakenheath and places like that. But at $5.63, for me, it's good value for money. It's something I'm going to use because I'm looking forward to the North of Britain map, and I do think this is going to be a staple of my campaigns. If you're playing in Poland or Sweden, it's probably far less useful. So it is a bit of a, as we'd say in Britain, a Marmite thing. You're either going to love it or hate it. If you're playing in Britain, it's indispensable. If you're playing anywhere else, it's not. So, you know, it's down to you. Hopefully that's been useful for you, and I'll see you soon for another review.